Good morning, students. Today we are going to learn about second unit teaching skills, micro teaching concept definition. Concept: micro teaching technique was first adopted at Stanford University, USA in 1961 by Dwight W. Allen and his co-workers, and is now followed in many countries with modified and improved techniques. It is a training procedure for teacher preparation aimed at simplifying the complexities of the regular teaching process. Micro teaching is a scaled down sample of teaching in which a lecturer teaches a small unit to a small period of 5 to 10 minutes. Such a situation offers a helpful setting for a teacher to acquire new teaching skills and to refine old ones. Micro teaching is a new design for teacher training, which provide trainees with feedback about their performance immediately after completion of lessons. Definition: D.W. Allen and A.W. Micro teaching is a system of controlled practice that makes it possible to concentrate on specific teaching behavior and to practice teaching under controlled conditions. Dr. D.W. Allen, microteaching is a scaled down teaching encounter in class size and class time. Dr. R. N. Bush, a teacher education technique which allows to apply clearly defined teaching skill to carefully prepared lesson in a planned series of 5 to 10 minutes encounter with a small group of real students, often with an opportunity to observe the same videotape. MC Alts and Unwin. The term micro-teaching is most often applied to the use of closed-circuit television to give immediate feedback of a trainee teacher's performance in a simplified environment. L.C. Singh. Micro-teaching is a scaled-down encounter in which a teacher teaches small unit to a group of 5 pupils for a small period of 5 to 20 minutes. Such a situation offers a helpful setting for an experienced or inexperienced teacher to acquire new teaching skills and to refine old ones. B.K. Pasi and M.S. Lalita. Micro-teaching is a training technique which requires student teachers to teach a single concept using specified teaching skill to a small number of pupils in a short duration of time. N.G. Jangira and Ajit Singh. Micro-teaching is a training setting for the student teacher where complexities are the normal classroom teaching are reduced by first one component skill at a time. Second one, limiting the content into a single concept. Third one, reducing the size to 5 to 10 pupils. 4. Reducing the duration of lesson to 5 to 10 minutes. Clift and other. Micro teaching is a Micro-teaching is a teaching training procedure which reduces the teaching situation to a simpler and more controlled encounter achieved by limiting the practice teaching to a specific skill and reducing teaching time in the classroom. Class size. Steps in micro-teaching. Defining the skills to be developed in terms of specific teaching behavior. Second one, demonstration of the skill by the teacher, educator by taking a micro lesson. Third one, based on the model, preparation of a lesson plan by the teacher training for a suitable topic which calls for application of the skill anticipated. Fourth one, teaching of the lesson by the teacher, training in a simulated setup in the presence of observers. Fifth one, providing of immediate feedback to the teacher trainee by the observers with a view to help him improve the skill. Sixth one, arranging, replanning, reteaching and re-feedback session. Seventh one, a repetition of plan, teach, feedback, replan, reteach and re-feedback cycle till the skill is acquired. The exact teach, reteach cycle of micro teaching can be presented diagrammatically as given below. Micro teaching cycle: plan, teach, feedback, replan, reteach, refeedback. Micro teaching versus macro teaching. Micro teaching. First one, micro teaching occurs when a teacher works with a small group of students for a short period of time. Second one, micro teaching occurs when a teacher works with a small group of students she has formed based on their reading ability. Micro lesson planning happens when a teacher creates individual classroom activities that occurs on a day-to-day basis. 4. Micro teaching is often used to help novice and trained teacher practice and hone their teaching skill. They focus on a single skill or concept allied to the smaller number of students, allows for concentration on a specific type of teaching delivery. The more confined environment also aids a video recording of a teacher's practice and monitoring by in-class assess. Fifth one, it often features the teaching of a single skill or concept with a smaller group, enabling the teacher to give individual attention to each student, helping them master the skill of concept. Sixth one, micro teaching often features kinetic learning with the students learning from hands on experience and a more interactive environment with the students able to ask questions of the teacher. Macro teaching. First one, macro teaching occurs when a teacher provides instruction to the entire class at one time for an extended period of time, usually longer than 10 minutes. Second one, macro teaching is often in lecture format and may be used to introduce a new concept such as adding or to practice a new skill such as sounding out new words. Another component of macro teaching occurs when a teacher is developing lesson plan. Fourth one, macro lesson planning involves mapping out the base bones of the entire school year with regard to what material, such as long division or spelling concepts, will be taught over the span of the school year. Fifth one, macro teaching allows a teacher to introduce new information to everyone at once. Sixth one, macro teaching can give a teacher an idea of what subject or concepts he needs to spend more time on as well, who in his class needs additional help. Seventh one, planning lesson at a macro level help a teacher stay on track, so she is able to meet her goals and cover the entire curriculum before the school year ends. Eighth one, macro teaching relies on auditory learning and recall. Skill of set induction. The micro teaching The micro teaching skill of the introduction is also known as the skill of set induction. It is related to the beginning of class teaching If the beginning of class teaching is effective, then the outcomes of the teaching learning process can be estimated very clearly. Elements of introduction skill. In order to prepare micro lesson plan involving this skill, the following elements are necessary to be considered. First one, previous knowledge. Second one, proper sequence. Third one, objectives and aids. Fourth one, relationship between content, objectives and statements. Fifth one, duration of introduction. Sixth one, capability of creating interest and motivation. First one, previous knowledge. Before starting the teaching of new content awareness, the previous knowledge of the pupils is must. Previous knowledge should concentrate on the same topic which is to be started for teaching. This will create interest in the pupil teacher for teaching new content. Second one, proper sequence. While starting the lesson, coordination must among ideas, questions and statements to be used. Third one, objectives and aids. Keeping in mind the objectives of the lesson, various aids are used. Monotonous type of teaching bores the pupils. This boring tendency can be controlled in the pupils by selecting properly and attractive use of audio-visual aids. Fourth one, relationship between content, objectives and statements. While teaching the lesson, the statement to be used must have some relationship with the new content to be taught, and these contents must be selected to the predetermined objectives. Fifth one, duration of introduction. Introduction should be neither lengthy nor too short. Its duration should restrict to the creation of interest and motivation in the pupils. Sixth one, capability of creating interest and motivation. The teacher should have the capacity of creating interest and motivation in the pupils. For the study and introduction skill, two types of sheet can be used. First one, observation sheet. Second one, evaluation sheet. First one, observation sheet. In the observation sheet, the skills is divided into essential components. Frequencies of activities which pupil teachers perform in the skill per minute are recorded. The format of observation sheet can be as follows. Pattern of observation sheet for introduction skill. Components of introduction skill, tallies marks. First one, where the idea, statement and questions in a sequence. Second one, did the statement have any relationship with objectives and contents? Third one, where the question related to previous knowledge asked. Fourth one, was the teacher able to create interest and motivation in the pupils? Fifth one, was the duration for introduction appropriate? Sixth one, was the material used according to the objectives? The evaluation sheet. On the basis of the evaluation sheet, a decision is taken regarding teaching and reteaching in the 7-point scale used. In this, it is recorded that which component of the skill has been used frequency. Pattern of evaluation sheet for introduction skill. Componentary introduction skill. 7-point scale, minute, normal, maximum. First one, ideas, statements and questions were in a sequence. Second one, a relationship existed among statements, contents and objectives. Third one, questions related to the previous knowledge were asked. Fourth one, the teacher was able to create interest and motivation in the pupils. Fifth one, the introduction period was appropriate. Sixth one, the material aid was used according to objectives. The above 7-point scale pairs point from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Marking 0 means that its components of the skill is completely absent in the process of introduction of the lesson. Marking 1, 2 or 3 means the component is normal in the introduction process. Similarly, making 4, 5, 6 depicts the maximum presence of the respective component in the introduction process of the lesson. Second one, skill of explaining. To present the subject matter in the simplified form before the pupils and making it acquirable is termed as skill of explanation. The use of skill of explanation is considered necessary in all the subject. In the absence of the skill, the presentation of the subject matter is not possible. In the skill of explanation, such words are used in the statements by received statements. Exhibit the clarity of their meaning. Sometimes when a word is removed from the statement, it becomes vague. The components of skill of explaining. By using the following components of the skill of explanation, the desirable behaviors in the pupil teacher may be developed. First one, coordination in statement. Mutual coordination in the statement is during the explanation is very essential. Otherwise, there will be a hot touch spots. Second one, lack of irrelevant statement. While presenting the subject matter, the concerned statements which should be used only. Third one, fluency of language. The language should use such a fluent language that the pupils may listen and understand the thought of the teachers. Fourth one, connecting links. The use of words, idioms, or connecting links is essential, which can link the different thought or statements, such as therefore, as a result of, etc. Fifth one, clear beginning statement. Before starting any explanation, the teacher should make the pupils aware of what he is to teach on that day, thought a clear beginning statement. Sixth one, use of proper words. The teacher should use proper words for explaining and subject, object, or an event, otherwise he would be in a state of confusion. Precaution of skill of explaining. First one, explanation should be in simple language. Secondly, explanation should not be given the shape for an advice. Third, the thoughts included in the explanation should be in a sequence. Four, irrelevant things should not be included in the explanation. Fifth one, the explanation should be according to the age, experience, and mental level of the pupils. Sixth one, the explanation should be complicated, lengthy, and small according to the objectives of the lesson. Pattern of observation sheet for skill in explaining. Component of explaining skill. Tallies marks 1 to 5, 3, 1 to 3, 4, 5, 6. The one, the words connecting the ideas, statements were used. Second, the statement used in the explanation had coordination continuity. Third, initial statement for the explanation were clear. Fourth, the language of the explanation was clear. 5. Proper words were used in the explanation. 6th, question were asked during explanation. 7. Relevant statement were used during explanation. Yes or no. 8th, explanation also included irrelevant statement. Yes or no. Evaluation sheet for skill of explaining. 7 points say components minimum, normal, maximum as given in the observation sheet. Third, skill of questioning. The questions play a great role in making the subject matter simple and clear. Efficiency of teaching depends upon asking questions. Asking questions is an art. To become efficient, the teacher has to remember certain things. New teachers and the pupil teachers should especially pay a lot of attention to the following things. 1. What is the objective of asking questions? 2. How many types of questions are there? 3. What are the qualities of good questions? 4. Which questions have defects? 5. How are the questions asked? Aims of asking questions. First one, to attract the attention of the students towards the subject matter. Second one, to arouse interest and curiosity among children so that work proceeds comfortably. Third one, to judge the knowledge and mental coordination of the students so that new facts and information can be imparted to them. Fourth one, to connect the earlier experiences of the child to the new ones. Fifth one, to develop the chapter further with the cooperation of the students so that they remain active and development qualities of reflection, observation, analysis, etc. Sixth one, to know the difficulties of the children. 7. To give a new direction to the mental achievements of the children. 8. To concentrate the attention of the students on the topic so that it can be developed further. 9. To remove the hesitation to students and to give them self-confidence so that their personality is developed. 10. To revise the knowledge that the children have gained with which their knowledge will get more permanent. Components of skill of questioning. According to mental ability, question can be divided into two parts. According to the first classification, Mr. Risk has divided these questions into two parts. First one, memory questions. Second one, thought questions. Memory questions. Memory questions are those questions which the students answer according to their own memory. Such questions are asked to find out their earlier knowledge of the students and to revise it. Such questions begin with words like how, when, who, how many. For example, when did China attack India? Second one, thought question. On the other hand, thought questions involve such questions that index the children to think, imagine, or use logic to answer. For example, why did Pakistan attack India? Why is family planning required in India? How can food problem in India be solved? Types of skills of question. According to another qualification, questions can be divided into the following ways. Training questions, testing questions. First one, training questions. Training questions are those questions in which the children are trained to imagine, use logic and arrive at a result so that they can accept new knowledge successfully. For example, what difference method can be adapted by India to produce it? Second, testing questions. Testing questions are those questions which test the knowledge and memory of the children. With the help of such questions, the teacher can easily find out whether the teaching has been successful or not. For example, when did the 75 years plan begin? The third battle of Panipat was fought between who? Kinds of questions. The following are different types of questions: introductory questions, developing questions, thought-provoking questions, problem questions, comparison questions, comprehension questions, recapitulation questions. First one, introductory questions. These questions are asked before beginning the chapter. Second, developing questions. Such questions are asked when the chapter is being developed. With such questions, the subject matter is logically developed in the cooperation of the students. Third one, thought-provoking questions. Such questions are those questions that give rise to the imagination, logic, decision, and that activities their mind and makes them reflect very deeply. So the teacher should continue asking questions beginning the questions were why and how. For problem questions, through such questions, some problem is presented before the children at the beginning or at the end of the chapter, which the students are with their prior knowledge and learn new things. And fifth one, comparison question. These are those questions where some comparison is made between fact or events. Such questions are generally asked in history, geography, and science. It is better to ask such questions in the middle of the chapter. Sixth one, comprehensive questions. These refer to those kinds of questions through which the teacher comes to know the children have understood or not. Such questions should be asked at the end of the chapter. Seventh one, recapitalization question. These are those questions through which the most important features and fact can be revised. Questions based on size and type of answer. Essay type question. Such questions are answered in the form of essay type questions, are extant and generally given as homework. For second, short answer type question. Such questions are short and they are generally used to comparison or for eliciting information. These questions have fixed answer. For example, how many salary is given to the president? Adjective type question. Sixth thought. Such questions are also brief and their answers too brief and to their point, like in fact, true or false, etc. Bhaktananda Dam is made in Gujarat. Chandigarh is the capital of Punjab. Characteristics of good questions. Realizations of the aim, language, pointed questions, thought-provoking questions, brief and direct questions, dynamic questions, proper distribution, systematic. Realization of the aim. Questions should be such that the help of which objectives of teaching can be achieved. With this point in view, the teacher should have clarity in his mind to ask direct questions. This brings life to the class. Second one, language. The language of the question should be simple, clear and error-free. So difficult language should not be used for asking questions. Questions should be asked keeping in mind their age group, mental level of the objective. Pointed questions. Question should be to the point and direct so that all the children understand the answer. The question should not be very simple or very difficult or should be according to the ability and interest of the thought-provoking question. The question should be thought-provoking and activate the mind of the student and offer them a challenge. Sixth one, brief and direct questions. Questions should be short related to subjects. The questions should be short and simple so that they can be answered in small sentence. Eighth one, definite answer. The answer to every question should be precise and definite so that all children could answer it correctly. Seventh one, proper distribution. Questions should be asked from each part of chapter. It is not correct to ask for more questions from one part and listen from the other. All the children should be given equal opportunity to answer the questions. If the same children keep on answering, then the other children will interest and encourage. Systematic. Questions should be scientific and asked on the chronological order. This leads to natural development of the chapter. Ninth one, variety in form and difficulty level. Questions should be asked according to difficulty level of questions. Students variety. This will help him to remain interested in the classroom. Probing skills. The process of asking questions in the classroom teaching is very important by insisting questions again and again. The teacher makes the pupils more thoughtful. He enables the pupils to understand the subject deeply. Probing questions are those questions which help the pupils to think in in depth about the various subjects of the problems. Use of probing questions. The teacher can use the probing questions in the following students.